I say, I'm not a public speaker either. It is an honor to be here with you tonight. It is really encouraging to come to these events around West and Middle Tennessee and see so many people out being active in conservative politics right now, because it's an important time for our country. My younger brother William's here too. He's in this picture on the back of this card too. Our family lives all across the state. Got an older brother in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Williams in Nashville with his two boys and wife. I'm in Jackson, Tennessee, and our little sister's in Memphis. So if you got a flat tire anywhere across the state, you know you get someone to call. And that's probably one of the 3 times we're all under one roof in a year these days. So that was a neat day actually on February 14th of this year. So appreciate being here tonight, and appreciate you listening to us tonight. I'm so appreciative of the other candidates who are in this race. Now that our family's involved in a political campaign, I understand what it means for Dr. Flynn and the Smith family and the Fincher family to get out there and to work and to commit this time and effort, because it's a big commitment, but it's an important time. A little bit about Ron. We do have cards here, but I want to tell you a little bit more about him. I remember the night he called me about the possibility of him running for Congress, and I worked for a construction company in Jackson, Tennessee, and I was on a job site in Nebraska. He was actually in Knoxville, Tennessee, finishing up his master's in business administration. At 65 years old, he went back to get a master's. So we were happy to see him graduate. By the way, walk across the stage. It's something you don't get to see your parents do very often. My mother was in Jackson, Tennessee. And my dad called me and said that he and my mother had been texting back and forth about the possibility of him running for Congress. And so I asked the first question that came to my mind, which was, when did my mom learn how to send text messages? That seems like the first logical question. But in all honesty, the first question that comes to most people's minds is, why would you run for office? Because frankly, when I think about this opportunity, it's not really what I had in mind for the next 10 to 12 years. First of all, he's getting close to that retirement age. He's slowing down practice. He stopped doing surgeries. And I was thinking work 2 or 3 days a week, see him more often, enjoy the lilies in life, and stop and smell the roses. Well, if you know my dad, that's not really his MO. But secondly, I thought, why would you want to go to Washington, D.C.? I mean, that's not home. It's so different from Jackson, Tennessee. Here you know everybody. There you don't know anybody. You don't know who your friends are. People stab each other in the back. It's not a place that you really want to spend a lot of time. But then thirdly, my idea of the next 10 to 12 years included what we call now Lovey and Kiki, because we've got a 16-month-old at home, my wife and I do. My brother's got 2 boys at home. And I was thinking about basketball games and soccer games and school musicals and church events. And we go to lunch every Sunday after church. And that's a special time for our family. It's a time we've always guarded. So I said, why do you want to go to Washington, D.C. and serve in Congress? And he said, the first thing is, I've never been more concerned about the future of our country. And I think we can all agree with that. In fact, last summer, before any of this campaign started, he started to speak at Tea Party rallies. And he spoke at one in Jackson, Tennessee on the 4th of July. When we were all out trying to go to the pool and whatever else, he was speaking at a Tea Party rally because he was concerned about the future of our country before any of this started. And then the second thing is, he said, I think I'm just uniquely prepared right now to give back to my country. Now, giving back to his country is not a new thought for him. When he was in 1968, after college at UT Martin, he volunteered to go to Vietnam and spent time in the military, spent 11.5 months in Vietnam serving his country. So this wasn't something new, this idea of service. And in our house, we've been told from the time we were real little that it's very important to give back of your time, your resources, your energy, and the talents God has given you to help other people. And that's what conservatives do. We want to help our neighbor. What the liberals want to do, what Roy Herring wants to do, what Obama wants to do is have the government help our neighbor. So that's a very foreign concept, that idea of government taking care of everybody, because we grew up in a household where we were told, you go take care of your neighbor. So over the next few weeks, as people began to reach out and encourage us about this campaign from across the state of Tennessee, people who knew my parents from either medical school or because he had been in a physician or because he had advocated across the state for the University of Tennessee as National Alumni Association president. They began reaching out to our family and encouraging us about this opportunity. And it's because they wanted proven, trusted, seasoned conservative experience.